So in this video, we're going to be going over the auto receptionist in the Telus Business Connect system. So under here, we're going to go to phone systems, and then auto receptionist to the left, and then general settings. So this is the section that we deal with when we're having calls directed to the auto receptionist and kind of telling it where we want it to go. Normally, we usually have a phone number assigned to the auto receptionist. That's actually done under phone numbers, all numbers. And by default, all of these phone numbers are normally assigned to actual users. But then we can simply click on the actual phone number and assign it to the auto receptionist. This usually would become one of the numbers that is the main business phone number. And the toll free, usually with the account, is part of that as well. So when we go into general settings under the auto receptionist, we have a few different sections. Under company hours, if we leave it as 24/7, then basically however we set up the auto receptionist to operate, that's going to be true 24/7. Once we set up custom hours, we do have the ability to have it do one thing during hours and something else during after hours. Then we'll go to the IVR settings. And this is basically where we would tell the auto receptionist what to do. So during business hours, we have options where it can play a greeting, usually something where I would say, if you know the extension of the party you wish to reach, please enter it now, etc., etc. We could have the auto receptionist go directly to a user. So if we choose this, we have all of our users. If we have a receptionist, that may be why we choose for it to go directly there. If we created a call queue group and had 3-4 different people ringing at the same time, we could do that as well. I don't see it being used as often, but during business hours you could also have it go straight to a voicemail or to an announcement only. Once we go to after hours, we have those exact same options available to us so that we could have it do something different during after hours. These are the options that we have when our auto receptionist is set up as a single level. The moment we move it to a multi-level, we then basically have the ability to set up an IVR to take our calls. So during business hours, we can only select an IVR. For after hours, we have the flexibility for it to go to call queues, to a voicemail only, to an IVR, or to individual users. There you go, our users as well. So we have a little more flexibility for the after hours, but under a multi-level, during the company hours, it can only go to an IVR. Back to a single level. Other things that we can do underneath the IVR settings, we can create some custom rules, basically allow us to have some options where, if we have 3-4 different main numbers that potentially are advertised, we can make a rule that says, if somebody calls this main number, I want it to do something different. If we go next, we have options to have it go to a different call queue or to a different user, etc. Then if we continue to move down, we have the option of basically the operator. When you press 0, what do you want it to do? 0 dialing, you can choose that for it to do nothing, for connect to the company greeting, or connect directly to an extension. Our dial by name directory. So here we just have to make sure it's enabled, and then include basically how many extensions would be a part of it. Or sorry, this was the directories extension. We can choose edit here. We can add how many extensions we want part of the dial by name directory. So 103, 4, 2, done. We'll have 4 users part of the dial by name directory. 9 would be the shortcut to access that directory. And then our criteria would be, do we want them to search people by their first name or last name? Then call recording. Call recording on demand basically means that you can enable call recording when you're on a call by hitting *9. Once you do that, it will play an announcement. If you are on one of the higher tiered packages, they do have automatic call recording, in which case you can have it enabled so that it just would record every single call. But the on-demand feature is on some of the other packages. It just requires you to actually hit *9 to enable that call recording. And then block robocalls, you can have this enabled. It has its own built-in criteria to pretty much detect robocalls and more or less just play a blank announcement for that. And then under your auto receptionist, you also have your regional settings. So you do want to make sure if you're utilizing the auto receptionist and calls are being directed here, that your time zone is correct and correlates to the time zone that you currently have with the area that you're working out of. And if we move to multi-level, select this IVR. Most of the sections do pretty much stay similar. When we go under IVR settings, once again, you're going to see the during company hours, after hours, your custom rules, the options that are usually built into the IVR. But we also do get this option for company fax and SMS recipients. So if you do have one of the phone numbers that's associated to the auto receptionist as a fax number, you can basically then select which user that phone number is going to end up going to. And then all the other sections pretty much stay the same. That's just a quick summary as to how you would navigate through the actual auto receptionist when calls are being directed here and what you can kind of set up in the section. Hope that helps.